Hello Christine, how are you? Hope you're well. Hi Wendy, I like the look of your drinks cabinet. Not that I drink very much these days, I don't, but it does look nice. Are you both okay? Can you both hear me okay? That's more to the point, isn't it? If you can hear me okay, then we're on a winner. Hi Anne. I hope the weather's better where you all are. It's absolutely weeing down here and it's dark and miserable. I don't like it like this. I'd rather have it cold and crisp. Just don't like the rain. Can somebody let me know if the sound's okay, please? Sunny but cold. Well, that's something, Wendy, isn't it? I don't mind sunny but cold, because at least you can get out and do something. It's just when it's wet and it's that really fine drizzle, soaks you through to the skin before you've been out 5 minutes, doesn't it? It's awful. So, hey ho. So I think we'll make a start, and then if anybody else joins us, then all well and good. So today I'm going to be making a baby card, because I have a friend on Facebook that I've never met, but I bought something off her, I think, a few years ago, craft-wise, and we've just stayed connected on Facebook, and she's just had a little baby girl. So it's been a long-awaited baby, and she's not had the best of times over the last few years, so I just wanted to send her a little card. So today's card that I'm making is the one that's going in the post. So the card I'm basing it on is this one, and the reason I've changed it about a little bit is because I just felt that although it's nice and I like it, I just felt it was a bit plain, a bit too simple. So I'm going to base it on this, but it's going to be slightly different. So I'll leave that one up there. Don't think you can see that there, but never mind. So if I just run through what I'm going to be using before we go any further. The circle obviously is one of Lisa's circle dies, the nested scalloped and plain circles, and for this one I've used the biggest scalloped circle around here. These dies just cut absolutely beautifully, and I just love the way they cut, so I've used that for the base. Then I've used the Essential Accessories die set, and what I've used out of this set is the 2 balloons and the 2 hearts, and then I'll show you what I did with those in a little while. Then I also used the Essential Words that Lisa bought out some time ago. These are a stamp and die set, and I've used this one, this With Love, but I haven't used it as it is here. I've cut it down so that it's in 2 parts, as you can see, because it just, the line for cutting is just in the right place, so it just lends itself to being cut into 2. And I would imagine that you could probably do it for the Just For You and the Just Because as well, because they probably will do exactly the same. So I've also used the padded quilt, the new 3D embossing folder. I know these are out of stock at the moment, but I know they are on their way as we speak, and I know that they will be with Lisa probably about the 22nd of December. If you are, if you know her website, www.thatcraftplace.co.uk, if you go on to the website and look for the 3D embossing folders, you will find them on the website, and it will say out of stock. But there's now a little blue band down the side of the page, and it says email me when back in stock. If you click on that, then it will ask you to put your email address in, so you're subscribing to that list, if you like, and then when they come back in stock you will automatically get an email to tell you they're back in stock, so you can order them. So they're on their way. I've also used the mini banners alphabet set, and I know that this is probably out of stock at the moment. The numbers are in. Hi Lisa, hi Jean. I know the numbers are still in stock, but I think the alphabet is currently out of stock. I don't know whether Lisa's getting any more of those in. Maybe she'll tell me if I ask her nicely. I've also used the It's a Jungle Out There stamp set, and I've actually used this little elephant here because to me he just cries out for a baby card. I know that sounds daft, but I don't know what it is about cute elephants and babies. I just think they go together really well. So I've used that little elephant on there, and I've just coloured him in with Copics. Dead simple, dead quick. On the original card I used the candy pink AB pearls that were in the set of 3. I'm not sure whether there's any of those in stock. Probably not, but oh, teasing again. I see, fine. Well, they are useful if you've already got them, but if you haven't, there's obviously something better coming, or as useful, as Lisa says. So I've used the candy pink on the original card here, but having looked at it, sat and looked at it, I think they get a little bit lost, and I'm not sure if I've used too many, so I've changed that for today. I'm also going to be using this little stamp out of the textures set. I don't use this one very often. These are my go-to stamps, but I quite like this one, and I've used it before, so I'm using that one today. And for the pearls, for today's card, I'm going to be using white ones, which were in set 1, which sadly I know there aren't any more of. Cute animals are still on sale on Monday. Excellent. Well, I'll come to that in a minute. Right, so let's get stuck in. So this is the base of my card, and initially what I'm going to do is, because I felt that the back of the card, the back in here was a little bit too plain, that's where I'm going to use my texture stamp, and I'm just going to stamp all the way around the edge of the card. And I'm using spun sugar because I sat this morning and I've tried several different pinks, and none of them just fitted quite right with the colour of the papers that I've used today. The one thing I haven't reached out is what papers I'm using. I'm going to be using the Pretty Petals paper pad, and I'm going to be using the Marble Effect paper out of that set. There's several different shades in that pad, all of which are equally as beautiful, but for me it just worked really well on this card for what I wanted to use it for, so that's what I'm using today. I think if ever you are looking for something and you can't remember whether it was a Lisa Horton product, if you go onto our Pinterest boards, you will find that there's a board on there called That Craft Place, which is a reflection of everything that Lisa's bought to you in the past, and you will be able to see on there what stock there has been in the past. I'm not saying that necessarily means it's still in stock, but at least it will give you an idea of where you've seen something, and you know whether it was Lisa that actually bought it to you. So I was just checking that I can't see any blank white pieces of card when I put my card down. No, that's fine. So that's my background done. They're so useful, those texture stamps, just to add a little bit of interest to the background of your card. Now, I've used the 3D embossing folder, as I said, the padded quilt, my absolute favourite at the moment, and that's all I'm saying. Now, you can see there's two ways of putting this. You can either put it so that the quilts are in a straight line, or you can put it so that they're in a diagonal. I hate things that are sort of too uniform, so mine's going on the diagonal, and that's what I'm going to put that down on the background there. Now, I've said to you before that because these embossing folders are so deeply embossed, debossed, you'll need probably a little bit more glue than you would if you were sticking down just a flat piece of card. You'll see that I've backed this paper onto a piece of cardstock, and that was really just to give it a little bit more stability while I was putting it through the embossing folder. Because they're so deep and those papers are quite shiny, I just wanted to give it a little bit more substance to it so that it didn't crack the paper or anything like that. So it was just a precaution on my part, really, just to be on the safe side. So that's going down on the background there. And also putting it onto a piece of card just gives it a little bit of height on the base of your card without actually making it too, you know, too 3D, as it were. Although I am going to add a little bit more height when I use the sentiment. I'll show you that in a second. So that's my base. Now I wanted my little elephant to do the same as he did on this one. I wanted him to be holding the balloons. But after I'd done this, I suddenly thought to myself, do you know what? I've got a die that would cut out the balloons instead of me sitting fussy cutting them out. So I've done my little elephant. He's so cute. I love him. I also think that the monkey, gorilla, whatever he is, orangutan, whatever, this one, I also think he'd look good on a baby card. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just think these two particularly look awesome as baby cards. So I'd be tempted to use him, possibly on a baby boy's card. But this, to me, is just baby girl. So it might be just me, but hey ho. So I'm going to stick my elephant down first. And that's really because I want him to hold the balloons, and I want you to be able to see the actual string that he's holding in his trunk. So that's why I'm putting him down first and not the balloons. So I'm going to sit him actually in a scallop there. Sit him down there. And as I say, I've coloured him with Copics. Dead simple. Nothing too, you know, nothing too fussy. I think it took me 2 or 3 minutes just to colour him in. So quick. So my balloons, which I've actually already stuck together, I've cut them out. These two little strings come as separate pieces, as you can see in the set, if I just show you. So the strings are separate to the balloons, so if you didn't want to use the strings, you don't have to. And I know that Heidi used these as pumpkin faces on a Halloween card. So clever. So they have multiple uses. Now I wanted them to be a little bit different to the rest of the card, which is why I've cut them in like a rose pink shiny card. But I just want him to be holding those there. So I'm just put a little bit of glue on here. And I glued them earlier because with shiny card it tends to move around a little bit when you're sticking them together, and I didn't want that to happen, so that's why I prepped that earlier. I'm just going to use my tweezers just to hold it down because it can be a little bit fiddly. So I go in there and just hold that down for a second, just so that the glue adheres. And you see that how the cutout of the light shining on the balloon just sets those off for me. I just think it's a perfect little die set. It's so useful for so many different projects. I just think it's brilliant. So there we go. I will wipe the glue off the card when I've finished, because it will just wipe off. So these are the little hearts that I've used, and I've already again stuck them together. So there's the small one and the large one, these two, and I've cut them out in the same paper that I've cut these out of, because in the original one I just used the stamp out of the Essential Accessories stamp set, which is this little one here. And as I say, I just felt when I'd finished that it just wasn't quite enough. So I'm going to just place those where I want them before I glue them down. So those two are going to point inwards like that, and then I think I'm going to have those two pointing outwards like that, just to make them look a bit different. So I'd also had the hearts upside down on the other one, and I looked at it this morning and I didn't like it, so I've changed that completely. So there's my little hearts going there. These dies cut beautifully. I mean, again, I backed this paper onto American Craft cardstock before I die cut them, and even with 2 layers they just cut beautifully. There's no sort of snagging, there's just nothing that goes wrong with them. I just think they're superb quality, and I really don't think you'll be disappointed if you haven't already got them. Go that way. Now, as I said to you when I started, with the pearls on the background, I just wasn't oh, I've not seen that, Lisa. I shall have to go and have a look at that. What was I saying? Can't remember, it's gone now. See, I shouldn't read comments, should I? Because then it just throws me off track. And it's usually something worth reading as well. So, there we go. So you see, you don't have to use the Pretty Petals paper pad for flowery cards, do you? You can use them for anything. So then I've used my sentiment, and as I said to you, I used the Essential Words die and stamp set, this one, and I've used this stamp here. And what I did was just snip it here where the join is between the two, because I didn't want it across the card because it's too big, but I really wanted to use this. Now what I did was, with the die, obviously I've die cut the word, but then I've also die cut 3 more blank shapes so that I can layer these. And whether you can see how thick that is, it just looks like a little piece of chipboard. Now I think it was Sandra that said that's what she does with some of her dies, and it really works. It just gives it a little bit more substance rather than just sort of one piece of very narrow card. So I think that's a really cool idea, and I think Elizabeth uses that trick as well. I've heard people mention it, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a very clever idea. So that's going there. Oh, that's what I was saying, my pearls. I don't know whether I went a little bit overboard. I know I like shiny stuff and a bit of bling, but perhaps I got a little bit carried away with how much bling I put on the card from yesterday that I made. So I might change it on this one. Just hold that down. And see, that just gives that a little bit more depth. I don't know whether you can see that. I'll just wait for my camera to just catch up with me a little bit. But you can actually see that there's quite a bit of depth on that word. Come on, camera, catch up. I just think there's 3 layers plus the original word there, and I just think it just makes a difference, and it just gives a little bit more of a interest to the card. So my pearls. Now, decisions. I don't know whether to just randomly dot a few, or whether to do what I did yesterday and just go for it. And if I start and do a few just random to start with, see what it looks like. So I think not everybody likes blingy stuff, do they? And perhaps for a baby card, perhaps it was a little bit OTT. So I'm using my fabulous Lisa Horton pickup tool because it is just brilliant. I've used others and I have to say that this one never fails me. The only time I have a problem is if I don't put enough glue on, or I've got glue on the end of my wax bit. But this is, it just makes adding pearls and gems to cards so much easier and quick, so you're not sort of sitting there for hours on end picking things up. And yeah, do you know what, I think I'm going to go just with the random bit, and I'm not going to go OTT today. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that's quite sweet. There's just enough on there, I think. What do you think? It is, yeah, black. Yeah, that's a good idea, Elizabeth. I've used the double layered sentiments, and I used a different colour card on the, you know, the background piece than I did with the main stamp, and it really does look very effective, as you say. So then I also used, as I said, the the letter dies, which unfortunately at the moment are out of stock, but there may be something better, something different, something equally as fantastic on its way. Lisa's a tease. But the little string that I used, because I didn't want to add string on the inside because I didn't want the card to look bulky on the outside, so I've just used this teeny weeny little squiggle stamp on the Essential Accessories set, just to add a little bit of string on the end of each row of letters. I'm really pleased with how that looks, and I've just added the string just using the same distress marker as I've used to colour the little squiggle in as well. So I'm really pleased with that. So I'm just waiting for her to send me her address, because I've changed phones since I last wrote to her, so I've lost her address, but that's going in the post tomorrow morning probably. I'm really pleased with that. I think that one looks better than the original. I'm sure somebody would like the original, but I'm quite pleased with that. So that's today's card. Few little things to say just before I go. Lisa's back on the 21st. It's a sale show because she's got to make room for some fabulous new products that are coming to you in January. You really won't want to miss the January show. It's awesome. No problem, Heidi. Nice to see you. So yeah, so December's is a sale show. The 8th of January will be an awesome show that you really won't want to miss. Today's live will be the last one for this year, and Claire will start off again on I think it's the 5th, which is the Tuesday. My lives will be at 1 o'clock on a Friday from now on, unless they clash with Lisa's shows. If ever she's on a Friday at 1, I will change my time just to fit round Lisa's shows. I will... What was I going to say? Do you know, my head just isn't working today at all. YouTube channel. Don't forget how many fabulous videos there are on there, because whilst we do our lives on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, a lot of the other design team just do videos that they add to the YouTube channel. It's well worth a visit. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, because there is so much inspiration on there, you wouldn't believe it. There's just some awesome videos on there, well worth a visit. Our Pinterest boards have had a bit of a makeover. They are now product-based Pinterest boards. So if you're looking for inspiration for using some of Lisa's papers, there is a board called Papers. There is a board called Dies. So I think there's dies, embossing folders, papers, stamps, stencils. I think that's it. There's 5 or 6, and then, as I say, there is one called That Craft Place, which will give you an idea of all of the things that Lisa's bought to you in the past. That's a useful board to go and have a look at if you're sort of looking for something new. Oh yes, MDF. Sorry, yeah, forgot the MDF. How could I forget MDF? She beat you to it, Elizabeth. Yeah, so there's one called MDF as well. So we just felt that that would be easier for people to locate what they were looking for, rather than trying to look for show boards, because you won't remember what's on what show. So it's easier to do it this way. So I hope that is better for you to use. And other than that, I think the only thing... Oh yeah, one last thing. Because I have enjoyed using Lisa's products so much, I wanted to do a little giveaway. And this little set, the Essential Accessories set, is the set that I'm going to give away today. Now, what do you have to do? All I want you to do really is go through our page, Crafting with Lisa Horton on Facebook. I want you to choose one of the DT cards, one of the DT projects, whatever you want to look at, and see if you can recreate it or do a take on something that we've already done. I'm going to let this run until the end of January, so if you're busy over Christmas, you haven't got to rush. There's plenty of time. I will make an album for it, and whoever gets chosen as our winner, I will ask the DT to vote on all the entries, and whoever gets the most votes will win, and you will win this little stamp set. It is so versatile, so useful. You will find umpteen uses for it. So I hope you have time to join in. Like I say, it's running until the end of January, so you've got oodles of time. Don't forget to watch Lisa next week, 21st. Remind me of the show times, Lisa. Is it a 7:30 show, or is it a 9 o'clock show? I can't remember. So there's 2 shows on the 21st, and as I say, some awesome prices because it's a sale show. It'll be very fast moving, and you won't want to miss anything. If you've sort of put off 7:30, yes, nice early start for you, sweetheart, and 2:15, fantastic. Thank you for that. So yeah, if you've missed any of Lisa's products and you're thinking, oh, I wish I'd got that, make sure you tune in on the 21st, because you two copying each other. Are you mind reading or something? There will be some fantastic bargains to have on the 21st, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there you go. I will put a little post in the group about the challenge as well, just to win this little stamp set. So all that's left really for me to say is have a fabulous Christmas. I know it's not the Christmas we all wished for. Please stay safe, be sensible, enjoy your Christmas festivities, have a cracking new year, and let's hope that 2021 is heading for COVID free. As far as Lisa Horton Crafts is concerned, it's going to be epic and you won't want to miss it. So make sure you come back and join us next year as well. So I'll love you and leave you. I know it was quite a quick card today, but sometimes we all need quick cards, and if you're using Lisa's die sets, what could be quicker? So I love you and leave you with my 2 baby cards. Have a nice weekend and have a fabulous Christmas, and I'll see you next year. Obviously still be around in the group between now and then, but no more lives till the 5th of Jan. So see you soon. Thanks very much for joining me. Bye for now.